Hello friends, let's zero in on another Leetcode problem today called number of islands. This is a very frequently asked question and it has been asked in a lot of companies like Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft. We'll be discussing an important pattern here with the help of which we'll be able to solve many other questions in the future. So let's go through the problem description. Given a 2D grid map of ones which represent land and zeros which represent water, count the number of islands. An island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent lands horizontally or vertically. You may assume all four edges of the grid are all surrounded by water. So let's go through the first example. Here we can see that these all are ones. Again, these are ones, all of them are connected, and even this one is connected to the above ones. So the output is 1 since we have only one connected component. Let's go through the second example. Here we can see that these four ones constitute a single island. Then we have this one which is an isolated island, and we have another set of ones which form the third island. So the output is 3. So let's see how we can solve this question. What we can do is we can start traversing the grid from the initial index and scan horizontally and vertically to find out all the connected ones. And during this process, we can update all these adjacent ones to zeros so that we do not encounter them again in the next traversal. So this would require us to do a simple depth first search. Let's see how to code it down. So let's write our base check first. If grid is equal to null, or grid dot length is equal to 0, we can simply return 0 since there are no connected components. Otherwise, we can initialize a variable called count to 0. This will hold the value of the number of islands. Now we can iterate over the grid. Int I is equal to 0, I less than grid dot length, I plus plus, for j is equal to 0, j less than grid 0 dot length, j plus plus. Now if at any position we find that the index contains the value 1, we can do a search from here and update all the connected ones to zeros. So we can call a function called search that will take our input array and the current indices, and once we have found a 1, we know that we have encountered an island, so we'll update the count here. So now once it is done, we can just return the count which will hold the number of islands. Let's write our search function. It takes a 2D array and the current indices. Let's write the boundary check so that we do not traverse outside the array. So if I is less than 0, or j is less than 0, or I is greater than grid dot length, or j is greater than grid 0 dot length, or if we have found that the current index contains the value 0 or it is water, in such a case we can just simply return. Otherwise, we know that we have found a 1 and we can update the current index to 0. So grid ij is updated to 0 here. And now what we need to do is search through the entire grid in all the directions so that we can find all the adjacent ones. So we can just simply call this function again. Now we can traverse in the next row from the same column. We can traverse up, keeping the column same. Now we can search on the left column, keeping the row same. And finally, we can search in the right column in the same row. So that's all what was needed. Let's try to run it. Let's quickly fix the boundary conditions. Let's submit it. It works. So let's quickly go through the runtime complexity. So we have traversed all the elements in the grid at most twice, and we don't use any other extra space. So our runtime complexity is order n if you consider the total number of elements to be n, or let's say if you have a grid of size n cross m, then our runtime complexity is of the order nm and our space complexity is constant. And again, just stressing on the point that this is a very important pattern. So let's try to understand it properly so that we can apply in future questions as well. I'll be uploading more videos where we'll be using the same pattern to solve other questions. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please do so and share the videos with your friends. Thank you.